My husband Jake and I have been together for 6 years, and he has been friends with Carly for 2 years longer than that. I suspect that Carly has feelings for Jake, but he has never had feelings for her. I've never been thrilled about their friendship, but I trust my husband and have total confidence that he would never cheat. A year ago, Carly moved into our neighborhood. She lives alone, and she picked up the habit of asking Jake to help her with housework and maintenance. When her water heater broke, she called Jake. When she needed help setting up a TV, she called Jake. When her trees needed trimming, she called Jake, etc. You get the idea. Jake and Carly also work near each other downtown, and a few days a week she'll ask him for a ride to work when she doesn't feel like driving. She's also started dropping by our house unannounced, usually when she's having a bad day and wants to vent to Jake about it. She relies on him heavily for emotional support 24/7. While I've tried to be patient and respectful of my husband's friendship with her, I have become less and less tolerant of Carly in the past few months, as I feel she's become a constant presence in our marriage. The final straw came yesterday. As a medical worker, I've been pulling insanely long hours at the hospital. Yesterday I finally had a day off, and I was very excited to spend some time with Jake. Just after breakfast, he received a text from Carly asking if he can help her move some furniture around because she decided to redecorate. He told her he can't because it's my day off and we're spending the day together. She then calls him and explains that it shouldn't take more than an hour and her living room is a mess and she really could use his help getting things in order. At this point, I snapped. I took the phone and told her that Jake had said no and she needs to respect that he wants to spend time with me, his wife. When she started to argue, I said I'm sorry Carly, but I think it's time for you to find your own husband, and hung up. Jake was shocked and thought that I was far too harsh. He thinks that I should have some compassion and said, how would you feel if you were 35 and alone and without many friends? I feel sorry for her. At that, I questioned whether or not I was actually in the wrong here. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. First, thank you for your hard work and everything you're doing. I get why you snapped. It's a stressful time, you're already pissed about the time he's spending with her, and he had already said no. With that said, your issue is with your husband. If all of this stuff is bothering you, bring it up with him and have a conversation about it. If your husband hasn't told this woman that she's being a problem, she has no idea. That said, your husband told her no, and she should have respected that. Not the idiot. She has violated boundaries and your husband does not see that. I had a very similar issue with my now ex-husband. This woman is taking advantage of your husband's generosity and being manipulative. She either needs to figure out how to do things on her own, get a husband of her own, or hire someone. You should be your husband's priority, not her. Honestly, everyone's the idiot here. Carly is being overly clingy and annoying, but she's being that way because your husband apparently has a spine made of pink starburst and doesn't seem interested in setting any boundaries about her behavior. It's great that he wants to help her, but he needs to recognize when it's inappropriate for her to be barging in all the time. And you need to really readjust your attitude and discuss things with your husband before you blow up at someone he considers a friend. Does he have any idea you felt this way? Why not try and talk to him? Maybe next time try that before going here to talk about how this woman is trying to steal your husband. I'm getting married in like 2 months and I'm having an argument right now with the family of my fiancé. My 28 soon-to-be brother-in-law, 22, wants to propose to his girlfriend of 6 months at our wedding. He came over to ask my fiancé, 26, if that would be okay, and she is always doing everything to make him happy and said of course. I was at work and she told me after I came home. I said I don't think I'm okay with that because this should be our day and I don't want any spotlight to be taken away from her. She said that was sweet saying that, but she is okay with doing this for her brother. Now my fiancé always goes out of her way to make her brother happy. He needs a ride. She is on it. He wants to buy something expensive but hasn't the full sum. She will help out. This origin when their mom died when they were young. I'm totally okay with her helping him out, and I understand her brother is a really important person in her life. But this request takes it too far in my opinion. I want this wedding to be a special day for us, something we can always think back on and talk about how nice it was. I also want my fiancé to have not to worry about anything on this day. Also, I'm not even sure if brother-in-law should even propose at this stage. He might be getting carried away from our wedding and the constant talk about it. I don't think brother-in-law and his girlfriend are in the we will be getting married stage yet, but I could be wrong on that one. I have the fear that the answer of the girlfriend won't be an instant yes, and there will be drama, or it is a yes, and the relationship doesn't last too long, and our memories of our day will forever be stained. I brought up these concerns with my fiancée, and she basically told me not to worry about it, this will be our day, no matter what, but I think she is a bit blind to her relationship with her brother. Finally, I told her I don't want the proposal happening on our wedding day, but we could help her brother set something up on another day. She accepted my position and said she will talk to her brother. Since I made my stand clear, I'm getting calls from her family, stepmom, dad, and sister, that it's none of my business if my fiancé wants to let brother-in-law propose at her wedding, because she is the bride and she gets the say. Also, I shouldn't stand between her and her brother, and it makes me an idiot that I don't want to fulfill her wishes because she's the bride. Am I the idiot for putting my foot down in this instance? Not the idiot. Your wedding day should belong to you and your bride, with no side dramas, events, to overshadow it. By actively planning to has asked his girlfriend at your wedding, your future brother-in-law is pulling a bit of a bad move, to be honest, trying to pull a bit of the limelight towards him, his girlfriend. You're right also, she might not say yes and that's drama, or she might feel pressured to yes because of the situation, and that's rough on her. If your fiancé isn't worried about it though, you're in a tough spot. You could try talking to brother-in-law directly, but I suspect that wouldn't go over well. Not the idiot. First and foremost, public proposals are a lot of pressure and can go horribly wrong. If the prospective fiancé declines his proposal, it would really dampen the mood. Secondly, your wedding and reception are about celebrating your marriage, not providing a romantic backdrop for your soon-to-be brother-in-law. Thirdly, both parties getting married deserve to have one day just for them, and you're well within your rights. The groom should have as much input as he is interested in having, it's not just the bride's big day. Not the idiot. You're not a living prop for her day. Men can be excited for and celebrate their own wedding just as much as women. Her opinions don't get to bulldoze over yours just because she's the bride, you're a team. Your feelings on this are valid and do matter. I'd be pissed off if someone proposed at my wedding and I wasn't even that excited for the whole celebration thing. Your wedding is not the decorative backdrop for his proposal. It's just rude and tacky. My sister and her husband passed away in a car accident when their daughter was 2. I was her only living relative and I got custody of her. She is 10 now. She has always called me Aunt X. And every time I go to a meeting or function at school, I always refer to myself as Lucy's aunt. The school has planned for a careers day next week. She asked me to come and speak. Tonight, I was practicing in front of her and asked her what she thought. It went like, "Hello everyone. I am Lucy's aunt. My name is X." After I was done, she asked me if I can introduce myself as her mother. I was a little blindsided. I was just like blinking and staring at her cause I didn't know what to say. She also said that she wanted to call me mom from now. I just hugged her and then said something along the lines of, "Honey, you know I love you. But I am not your mother. My sister's name is. And just because I am not your mom doesn't mean I love you any less. She loved you so much and I don't think she would want you to call me mom." Then she started crying and saying it was unfair and went up to her room. I went up after some time and had another chat with her. She is adamant that she wants to call me mom. I just hugged her, told her I loved her, and then said I will think about it. But, honestly, I don't think I can. I love her to bits. I love her like my own daughter. I love her enough that I am not planning to have any kids. But that doesn't change the fact that she isn't as my daughter. My sister and brother-in-law loved her to bits. If they hadn't died, they would have been such wonderful parents. To me, Lucy calling me mom is like slapping my dead sister in the face. I remember when Lucy was really small, she called another woman mom and my sister called me crying. She knew she was being stupid, but she was still hurt and couldn't help it. After a few days, I am planning to tell Lucy that she can't call me mom because I am not her mom. I was telling my fiancé and some friends, they all think I am being unreasonable, and this is going to only hurt Lucy. So, am I the idiot? You are the idiot because you are not taking her feelings into account here. Seriously, this little girl was orphaned. However much your sister loved her, your niece no longer has that in her life. She needs a mom. What better way to honor your sister than to be that person for the daughter she can no longer parent? Why not give your niece the security and comfort of having a mom? Your niece is very aware of her loss. Her classmates have parents, but she doesn't. She made herself vulnerable and asked to call you mom. It would be a gift, not only to her, but to the memory of your sister. You can't replace her, obviously, but you can take up the helm of raising her daughter like she would have. Think of how much it means to your niece to have a mom. This isn't about you, nor is it about your sister anymore. No idiots here. You're not her biological mother, and she knows that, but you are her mother. You mother her. You've been mothering her, as far as she remembers, her entire life. If you'd adopted a child birthed by strangers, you wouldn't insist you're not her mother. You'd know you were her mother because you were the one mothering her. You can keep your sister's memory around her, keep photos, tell her stories about your sister, what your sister wanted for her, but your sister wouldn't want you to hurt your daughter, that she had and left you to raise, by telling her the only mother she's ever known isn't her mother. You are the idiot. Your niece knows that you are not her biological mom, she just wants to have someone she can call mom. Your sister doesn't have any feelings about this because she's dead. Sorry about that, but dead people don't have feelings. However, if there is some afterlife where your sister is floating around and knows what is going on, then I would say she would probably be pretty upset to know that her little girl is hurt and crying because she wants to call you mom and you are denying her that. I have 2 adult children who were immensely loved, but I've always believed that the marriage comes first. I love my husband more than anyone in the world and I made sure to prioritize our marriage and not be one of those moms. My oldest son is 25 and just filed for divorce after 4 years of marriage. I really disliked my daughter-in-law for some personal reasons, but also I didn't like the way she treated my son. They have a beautiful 3-year-old son, but she began to completely ignore my son when my grandson was born. She prided herself on being a working mom, but couldn't juggle all 3 and my poor son was neglected. Typically I would have more sympathy, but she made a lot of derogatory comments about my parenting and marriage. She said she doesn't know how my husband and I could travel without the kids when they were young, 1 or 2 weeks a year, and they were with their grandmother. She was insulting about the fact I baby my husband and he is a man-child, and she embarrassed me at her bridal shower when she asked me for a piece of marriage advice and then told me it was bad advice and I'm just too old-fashioned. Well, obviously this didn't all work out too well for her. I was ecstatic when my son told me they were divorcing. She also used her son as a pawn and was always giving me conditions and acting like she was doing me a favor. I'm kind of enjoying the fact she wanted me to have limited time with the kid and now I have him for a week at a time. My son is living with us, but I've tried very hard to bite my tongue. She came over the other day to pick up her son and my son had left. He always leaves and makes me deal with her, but that's a separate issue. She started talking about how weird it feels that they are divorcing and that she can't believe it's real, and I very nicely asked her if she still thinks my advice was bad advice. She burst into tears and left, and now I feel like an idiot. She texted my son that I'm an idiot and he should be mad at me for laughing at his divorce. You're the idiot on so many levels. The way you treat your ex-daughter-in-law comes across as nasty and vindictive. Do you think your grandson will love a grandmother that treats his mother this way? Legally you may be allowed access to him at the minute, but once he gets a say in the matter, don't be surprised if your grandson wants nothing more to do with you if you continue treating his mother like this. The fact you think marriage is more important than the physical and mental well-being of a child does a lot to explain your behavior. You're the idiot. Most people don't put their husband over a dependent, but I guess you do. However, this woman is going through a very tough time. Being a working mom is hard, and sometimes marriages don't work out. She confided in you despite previous disagreements, and you laughed in her face. How rude and demeaning. She is going through a life-changing situation, and you had no right to laugh at her situation. Everyone's the idiot here, meaning you and ex-daughter-in-law. I get that you didn't like her. She has her opinions and you have yours and they clash. She obviously wasn't tactful around you or considerate of your feelings. Her age doesn't give her a pass to be a jerk. But you don't kick people when they are down. I told you so is the hallmark of an idiot. And that's what you basically said when she expressed that she's hurting. Imagine, for a second, that you were getting a divorce and she rubbed your nose in it. Also, 2 pieces of advice. 1. Couples reconcile sometimes, and 2. Your ex-daughter-in-law will be in your grandson's life for the rest of yours. Apologize for being an insensitive hater. Hey, so I used to be very overweight, I never cared. I loved food, and I was happy with who I was. However, I reached a point where my health was declining severely. I was 120 kilos, and I'm currently in my mid-20s. I never cared what my body looked like, but I did care about my health, so I lost 55 kilos, and I'm now at 65 kilos, and sometimes I fluctuate and go up and down a few kgs, but I worked with my doctor, physiotherapist and dietitian that 65 was a healthy range for my height, internal body junk, and active lifestyle. I do roller derby, dancing, and low-level gymnastics, though now that I'm healthier I'm drastically improving my gymnastics, yes me. Anyway, onto my clothing style. I have 3 styles. Marvel shirts with jeans, cute swing dresses, and I guess revealing clothes. I'm a huge fan of cute crop tops and short shorts. I love fun fashion. I also run extremely hot. I die if it hits over 22 degrees Celsius, and I don't even know a hoodie. I've essentially gone from a size 24 to a 14, yet I haven't changed my clothing style at all. No one ever had a problem with my crop tops and booty shorts when I was fat, when I had chunky thighs, a double chin, and quite a big belly. Obviously, I got the occasional fat shaming, and should someone your size really be wearing that? But I didn't care. Here's where I don't know if I'm an idiot. I don't think I am. But I honestly feel really guilty now. I'm really excited now that I have so many new brand options that never stocked plus sizes, so I bought a ton of new retro dresses and crop tops and short shorts, though I'm keeping most of my Marvel tees, because I love the prints. My mum and sister are now discouraging me from wearing my new clothes. My sister is angry that I'm sitting around the house wearing practically nothing while her boyfriend is over, but I always did that, and it was never a problem. My mum says she's concerned for my safety, and I'm causing so much friction with my sister. I'm starting to consider just doing what they want and sticking with my Marvel tees so that I don't cause drama, but I love exploring my new fashion options. So cast my judgment. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If it was never a problem before when people considered you unattractive, then it shouldn't be a problem now. To me, it sounds like you've gotten healthy, and they are jealous now that they consider you to be physically appealing. They are idiots for making you self-conscious. You should be able to continue to wear whatever makes you happy without having to deal with that crap, and they need to just leave you be or go get some therapy. Instead, they should be encouraging you. I think you're doing great, and I'm proud of you for getting your health in order. I know that's no easy task. Keep on. Not the idiot. You have amazing confidence, and your sense of style is a fundamental part of who you are. I don't care if you're a size 24, 14, or 0, your style is your business. You're the only person who your style has to make happy. Ever. I mean, we're obviously talking generally. If a boss tells anyone not to wear crop tops to work, whatever the gender or size, then they're in their rights. I think we all know this, but it doesn't hurt to mention. I'm speaking of someone who has been on the weight roller coaster my whole life and hasn't had the confidence to rock a crop top at any size. You're doing amazing. Not the idiot. Have you pointed out to your sister that this is exactly how you've always dressed and she never had an issue with it before? Also, as long as you're not planning on stealing her boyfriend, she shouldn't have anything to worry about. Either he's not going to cheat on your sister, or he is. If he's not, your new size won't change that. If he is, then he was looking for an excuse anyway.